Hey, this is Adele from Naked Divorce. I want to talk about why I think divorce is one of the toughest traumas that people can navigate. From my perspective as a trauma therapist, I think it is a shame-based identity crisis. And it is, of all the traumas that I work with, the hardest one to navigate because of the social impacts, the financial impacts, the legal impacts. I genuinely believe that bereavement can often be easier for a lot of people than going through a divorce. So if you think of you going through financial kind of instability, you don't know what is going to happen financially. Legally, is that whole process can be really traumatic. It can be really complex. And that can exacerbate your feelings of stress and anxiety associated to what's going to happen in the future. Socially, it can be really isolating. For a lot of people, they distance themselves from the couple that are going through divorce because it's icky. It's messy. It doesn't feel nice to be surrounded by something associated with failure or associated with something going really wrong here. And we don't like, as human beings, to be around something that feels like a failure of something. We don't want to be near that. It's stigma. It's like, you've got like a scarlet letter D that you're wearing. You don't really want to be around a person that is wearing the scarlet letter D. The loneliness that's associated to the social isolation. And then the experience of the trauma, of the grief, the loss, the sense of failure, because relationships are something we're supposed to be, really good at. And then when we fail at it, we really struggle with that feeling of failure, particularly if we're used to winning at other areas of our life. And that loss of self, the identity crisis that goes with that. Like, who are we now that we've gone through this crisis? What is my future about? Like, who am I now that I'm no longer married? What is my next step in my life? How do people see me? Oh gosh, now I'm going to have to associate with those people over there who are divorced as well. Now I'm a divorcee. Now I've got to suddenly find myself on one of those social media platforms trying to find my next partner. All of this makes it incredibly complicated trauma. So if you're just going to traditional talk therapy and just talking at your therapist once a week for an hour, it kind of doesn't cut it. Because certainly when I went through divorce, I didn't find that particularly helpful. In fact, I found some of it worse. It's like washing yourself in dirty bath water over and over again every week. I didn't really enjoy that personally. And I think for people, what they need is structure, they need support, and they need to get over the journey in a fixed amount of time, because all of it is ick and awful. And you've also got to be taught certain strategies for separating the emotional side of divorce from the financial and business side of divorce. People often rush the business side of things, thinking it's going to make them feel better, and it really doesn't. And people that rush are often, they foreclose on things too quickly and they regret the decisions that they've made. Where you can navigate the emotional side of divorce completely separately, and by getting yourself to a place of closure and completion here, you are more empowered to make better decisions on the business side overall. So yeah, I think this is why it makes it such a tough trauma. And if you find yourself going through this and you feel like you are literally falling apart, that's what it feels like. It's a really, really tough, horrible thing for people to go through. And we really empathize with it. And that's why we developed the programs we developed, because I think it's a really misunderstood transition that people go through. It's a real crisis, but it's also such an opportunity for transformation. I see some of the most incredible transformations because it is such an acute level of trauma. And when you harness that energy in the right way, it's a real catalyst for incredible transformation. Clients that we have, the things they get up to in the 6 months to 18 months following naked divorce is pretty spectacular. So yeah, if you find yourself in that horrible place, you're not alone. It's going to be okay. And yeah, just keep persevering and focusing on the learning journey. Take care.